When the United States became nation, big nation with good people in it. Good people. You know, like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all those guys, they understood what America was. Now it's a country called the United States of America. And it's starting to grow. It's a big country. Once so they needed labor to work. But there was something was coming at its full. It was called the Industrial Revolution. Okay? The Industrial Revolution. That means machines, that means oil, that means diesel, airplanes, all kinds of motors. So the Industrial Revolution was at its best. But in the United States, we have a problem. I'm going to draw the map of the United States. So don't laugh at me. Okay? Thanks, I don't know about that. Howdy. By the way, you don't know howdy what means? Howdy. How do you do? Very common what you just said. Very common on cowboys. But anyway, we don't usually talk about cowboys. What happens in California? Well, problem. Here we have what they call the nation. They call it later like that. DC line. It's a fictitious line that later became very well known. The nation-Dixie line, what it did is separate the North from the South. What do you mean by separate? What I mean that the North was industrialized. See, you got a lot of factories here in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. All those cities became producers of steel, copper, all kinds of metals. The United States was booming. So they didn't need slaves there. They didn't need slaves. You know, white people working in factories. Also, some black free people still in the North. Some of them well educated. Some of them. Now, what's happening in the South was rural. part of the United States. They're the one that produce mainly things like cotton, sugar cane, rice, tobacco. Those are the main 3-4 things that the South produce. And they live in a high rural society. Most of them were wealthy, but they didn't have any machines, so they have to have slaves. Now, how the slaves got here? How the slaves got to the United States? They went and hunted Africa. They went hunting like they were hunting animals. So, what they did is that by 1960 something, I'm not sure, they decided that it was illegal to bring from Africa slaves over to the United States. Would not come hunting, explore calling Negroes because they back to the United States or any part of the continental USA. Was illegal. But there are so many black people in the South were like 8 million. Right now, maybe 8 to 9 million slaves. Just slaves. For the North, there are like 20 million people. Okay. Now, how the South, they didn't like the way the North, the people in the North lived. They said they were two aristocrats. Good job, by the way. The aristocrats, and they say there were more aristocrats. You know, they got land, they got good horses, they know how to ride horses, they know how to shoot because they live in the country, but they live a good life. So mainly what they did is they did business with Europe. They didn't do business with the North. I said, we don't need them. And most of the supplies that the North got was very small. Mainly was food, got sugar and stuff like that. But the cotton was a very important plantation. And they decided in the rural South, they did business was mainly with France and with England. That's what they made the trade. So most of them traveled a lot to France. They bought these beautiful dresses. If you watch the movie Gone with the Wind, you'll be able to see that. How people dressed in those days. So they lived a good life. But you could not bring slaves from Africa to the United States. Now what happened? We still got slavery. So, in the American Constitution, the father of the United States, the father of the country over there, you know, Washington, Jefferson, actually Jefferson, very Christian guys, all of them. Paul Revere, all of them, they say, did not put slavery in the Constitution. So that it wrote, all men are created equal. Okay? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of blah, blah, blah. The word slavery is not there. Okay? Then, now you got all this here, all these guys working on plantations, maybe picking up cotton. Now, have you ever seen what? It's not there, we don't have cotton yet? Good. Cotton. Have you ever had one of those balls of cotton? A cotton ball. Not the one they sell in a package. The one is on the if you pick it up from the plant, and you open it, you try to open it, there's a bunch of seeds in there. Right? So it was really hard. It's really hard to get those seeds out. It's not easy. So you had hundreds of girls mainly, or ladies, sitting down, getting the seed out of, all of cotton. But there was an invention called cotton gin. I don't remember the name who developed it. But what does that mean? Gin is a drink, if you want to see that. But that's not the meaning. Gin also is called Ginebra. Called gin. So what was a cotton gin? Exactly. It's not a smokadora. It's a machine that can get that seed out. So after the invention of cotton gin, the South started booming. They had a lot of money, buy more land. But it's place. I'm going to give you. I want to tell a story. It's like they were real expensive. You could trade a slave in the United States. I mean, if you want to buy one, if you have one, I go to your hey, I'll see one, say, I want that slave. I can't sell that one. So what about the other one? Well, that's his wife. Well, how much? $300. Okay, sold. So that's how families split. But it was very expensive. Slavery was very expensive because there was no trade from here to here. But that's what they wanted, big families. And most of the plantations, what they call it, had bunch of slaves. And you had to feed them somehow. You had to provide them with fair care. You can at least out a warm place so they can stay. But they were expensive. And I'm going to give you an example. If you have a cow, every day you give it food, you feed it, you treat it well, and every day you go in the morning, you squeeze the shit out and you milk the cow. That's how you say it. You milk a cow. Right? Ordeñar. It's a verb. Right? It's a verb too. Milk. Ordeñar. Okay? Not just to drink. Right? So anyway, now if you don't feed the cow, and every day you get up the stick and beat the crap out of it, or her, she won't produce milk. You're losing your access. You're losing your money. So most of the slaves were well treated. Right? Most of them. There were some bad people in the South. Don't misunderstand. There were some really bad people, probably with a lot of money, with a lot of slaves. You can kill a slave, you know. But it's like killing a good cow. And it depends which kind of work they did. Some of them escaped from the south and north, thinking that they were free over there. But somehow they passed the law. But the land of the law said, if a renegade slave went to the north, the American government can capture him and send it back to the north. That's probably what happened in that movie, 10 Years of Slavery. That's probably what happened. You know, the guy escaped from the south, went to the north, they grabbed him, sent him back to the south. Now, some of them, like I said, were well treated. Some of them were really bad treated. They killed a bunch. But once they became expensive, hey, easy. I'll lose my money. Some of them later helped their masters fight the war from slavery. And they were afraid of the Yankees. All the Yankees are going to do this. Which sometimes they do. Now, how this mess of the Civil War started? It was a big mess. It was a book. I don't know if you read it. They made me read that book back when I was a young kid. Called the Uncle Stone Cabin. Never heard about it? O la cabaña del tío Tom. Never heard about it? It's a classic. It's an American classic. I think it was written by Margaret Beach Stowe or something like that. Who wrote Uncle Stone Cabin? Margaret something? Harriet Beach Stowe, exactly. The other one is going to do it. Margaret Beach. Harriet Beach Stowe. Okay, she wrote a book called Uncle Stone Cabin. What is it about? It's about a black guy escaping, from his master to the north. Guess how many black people read that book? Few of them. But the white people read it. And they say, people from the north, maybe. That was where all the horses and all the prancers and all that. So they read this book, but this it's real heavy. And they saw the suffering of the slaves in the south. Oh, they only got to stop this. And somehow it became a political issue. Few black people read that book because they didn't know how to write or read. But the white people did, like I say. And you know politicians, please. They're like coaches. They're just waiting to see what the hell we're going to do. So slavery became a political issue. Once it becomes a political issue, politicians want everything. And certainly it became a political issue. Now, with one debate, from the South, in the Senate, and a big debate in the North. Oh, the Constitution also said something about that. What is yours is yours. It's like, all right, I got the Constitution over there. You can read it. And also said you have the right to bear arms. I mean, you can carry a gun with you. That's why they have that problem. It's a law. You can carry a gun as long as you have a license. You can carry a gun. So now we got this, I would say, arguments in the Congress of who should we have a free slave nation, or we should have a whole nation of slaves, or just divide the country, one part slave, the other part not slave. That was the argument between politicians. Now, in those days, there was a political campaign going on, like the one this past with Hillary and Trump. And it happened the same that it happened to Hillary. Did you know that Hillary won for more than 3 million votes? I mean, more people in the United States voted for Hillary, and she didn't win. And she didn't win. I'll explain later how that works. It will take me a while so you understand how the election in the United States, which is very old, by the way, and it had to do with back in the 1900s. Now, the slaves could not vote. But the Congress said, well, we got so many of them, they have to count. So I think it's for every 5 slaves, there was a vote. Something like that. For every 5 or 4, there was one vote. So they have to know how many black people they have. That's why there is a good booking about how many, what was the name of the slave, when it arrived, we had daughter, we had daughter. And how this mess began. There was a guy by the name of Jefferson Davis. Tell me which state he was from. Whatever. Jefferson Davis. He was a senator from where? You should know that. I asked you to find out who Jefferson Davis was. Senator from Mississippi, and all his fellow friends in the South, they all got together and said, you know what, we need to split the North. We don't need them. We live a good rural life, let them be industrialized, we don't need that. So now, like I said, we came up with a solution. They said, well, representation, the senator, the Senate is not fair, we're going to split. And they named Mr. Jefferson Davis. And he got a letter saying that he was the new president of the Confederate United States of America. The only thing, the Constitution was the same. They only added one word. What was it? Slavery. That's all it needed. They had a new flag. And they started creating their own money. Now, President Lincoln Now won the election. It was a Republican. He said, you know what? This nation cannot be divided. One must slave from the other one. Said that can't happen. So Jefferson Davis established the capital of the South. It's very important to Washington. It was Richmond. It's a Richmond, yeah, Richmond. Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia. So established there. Now, like I said, they got their own flag, they got their own money, they have their own capital, they have their own constitution. Now we have two. I told you that's being split. Now, here are the things you have to know. Which state in the South is a Republican? First state, the unknown state, was North Carolina. And after that came Mississippi, then Georgia, then North Carolina, then South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, Louisiana. I'm missing something. Arkansas. They did it in one day. They took their time. They would add, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now the whole South, now they make that line, the nation this line. And now it's divided. Lincoln didn't want to go to war. In those days, they had a school called West Point. West Point Military Academy. That's what all the good generals and lieutenants and commanders, they go to. If you go to West Point, that means that your great-grandfather went over there. I cannot go there and say, I want to just come here to West Point. Let me see your background. My father was a general. My grandfather was my father was a general. My grandfather was a general. Okay, here we go. Keep going. So most of those people that came to West Point, Military Academy, they felt like they have to honor their country, but at the same time, they honor their state. So, how this whole mess began? Here, North Carolina, where's Fort Sumter? Fort Sumter. Fort Sumter. This is the reason why the American Civil War began. Fort Sumter. The attack of Fort Sumter. You have to know it. Where's Fort Sumter? There's a picture of Fort Sumter. See if you can show it to them. Sumter is designed to protect the port of Charleston. Right? That was the only reason. And it was like, it's an island, so you understand. It's an island, I think it's about 3 miles away from land. There was a little bridge, a little road, a really narrow road that is from west to Folsom. But one day, there was a captain, what's his name? I read it last night. I don't remember it. But he was, in charge of Fort Sumter. So they came on a boat. That riding to Fort Sumter, like 3-4 people. Talk to the captain, Johnson. Yeah, Edward Sumter. Commander of Fort Sumter. He said, well, you are in a Confederate territory. This is not the United States of America. And the forts belong to us. So you need to leave. The captain said, I'm not leaving. There was a law of supplies. The captain. I think there were women and children in it. Well, give me 3 days. I'll think about it. You can even read those letters on the internet. The letters, that went back and forth. It's like they were in love. Remember those things? Those guys, they knew each other because most of them went to West Point. I said, no, I can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. So they sent a letter. Give me 3 days so I can get supplies, so I can fight with you, things like that. So would you be so kind of look at love letters? One morning, two days later, Pierre Bourgard, of course, was the French guy. Pierre Bourgard, he had how many cannons? 50 cannons. Remember this. We are now in industrial revolution. Industrial revolution. Who's been in Cartagena? Oh, never been in Cartagena? Have you been in the San Felipe Castle? Right? I'm going to give you an example. Forget about this for now. Have you seen in those movies, English movies, when they attack a castle? The castle made in England were like that. Were square. The tower here, but they were squares. How is the Castillo San Felipe? It's like this. Now you remember? Something like that. It's not flat. It's not a wall. It's like that. And that has a reason. The Spaniards, if you attack this with a cannonball, that's what they call it, a cannonball, this part is easy to destroy. But if you fire here, a cannonball from here to here, they go boom, 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 until they have no power. but they were cannonballs. It's a ball. It rolls. So that's why it was made for that. And even if you shoot it over here, it'll get bouncing and you lose its power. So for something, the only thing that 3 or 4 something have walls. Not too high, not too low, but they were thick walls. Real thick, heavy walls. But remember what I said, the Industrial Revolution? They didn't use cannonballs anymore. Now the cannons are like that, like a bullet. So it did more damage. A bullet does more damage hitting a wall like that, or any wall, because it will penetrate easily. It won't roll. It penetrates. But people came with 50 of those cannons and some others. And by 2 a.m., he attacked Fort Sumter. I mean, he bombed the shit out of them. I mean, bombs for 3, 4, 5, 6, I think it was 8 hours. Bomb after bomb. Until the captain, well, I don't remember that. No. Okay. It's a common name. So the captain of Fort Sumter, you know how many people died? No one. No one died. Captain surrendered. Actually, one guy died. Yeah, one guy died, but he was carrying some kind of gunpowder. You know, the same thing happened to John Smith, and he blew up himself. That's the only guy that got killed. And it's so ironic because when the Union, the guy from the Union, or the United States of America, they left Fort Sumter, and the Confederate flag was raised, or maybe it was the Confederate flag and all was like that. Thousands of them died. This is ironic because when they took it, nobody died, and while we're defending them, thousands of Confederates died defending for something. It cost a lot of life to defend them during the war. Now, you can see all the newspapers, Fort Sumter attack, war begins. So Lincoln said, oh, now I gotta call an army. The United States didn't have that well-prepared army, didn't have that many soldiers. So Lincoln called for, I think it was 100,000, 200,000 more soldiers. First he asked for 20,000, then he went out for 100,000, 200,000, who knows. It's a lot of people. And they met the Union forces against the Confederates. They met in a battle at what is called Bull Run. Remember, it was an attack, but it was not a battle. They call it the battle of Fort Sumter. It wasn't a battle. Now, Bull Run. Bull Run It's in Manassas. I'm going to tell you a story that's really sad. I think I told you this in Spanish the other day. I think they took me to this representation when I was like 17 years old. They took me to, they do it every year, a representation of bull run. And not only bull run, many battles around the United States during the Civil War, they have a recreation of the battle. You know, and depending on who wins or who won, most of the time, you know who won? The South. And I'll explain to you why they lost, you know, the whole thing. They took me there, and I could see, you know, the guy dead, you know, the Confederate guy, and the guy dead from the Union. I mean, they were lying together, you know, so how's your family, how you guys doing? Yeah, it's a representation. And people sat with coolers, drinking beer, watching the fight. Believe it or not, that happened at Bull Run. That happened at Bull Run. People came real early in the morning with chairs. I don't know, chairs. They probably did. With chairs, you know, wine. I don't know. They want to see the fight. They told us it's going to be, you know, a bunch of guys hitting each other with a fist fight. That's what they thought. But at the end of the day, I think more than 60,000 people died. If I'm not mistaken. How many people died at Bull Run? Yeah, let's go ahead and answer one question. What's wrong with your computer? So anyway, now got the Bull Run, and people saw the next day all those bodies laying around. I mean, they're already rotten. People like, you know, their faces just look horrible. Most of the people, you know what they did? They ran. Most of the soldiers ran. Like, say, shit. I didn't know it was going to be like this. So they got the hell out. Most of them ran away. Then you get renegades. You could not be a renegade. That's this place in the book that I told you last time. It was the red banner of courage. La roja insignia del valor. You didn't look for it. Now you do. I know you. In that book described the horror of what war was in those days. You have to remember this. Now, here's the first question you have to know. When was the attack of Fort Sumter? When and where? And you have to know the first battle is Bull Run. Now, what's Bull Run? It's a small creek. You know what a creek is? Oh, you know. Creek. C-R-E-E-K, creek. Arroyo. Arroyo. That's what it is. So anyway, and that's in Manassas, Virginia. So Lincoln, and that war was won by the South. Bull Run was won, the first battle was won by the South. Why? Because they knew how to shoot, like I told you. Because they lived in a rural life. Most of them were kids, 16, 17, 18 years old. Most of the commanders, and you have to know this, the commander of the North later on became Ulysses Grant. They have one, but at the Bull Run, Lincoln decided that the best should have been General Robert E. Lee. So Lincoln called Robert E. Lee, and said, "Man, I want you to be the commander of the entire army." Lincoln said, "Honor, thank you very much." But later, he declined. He went to Richmond, and Jefferson Davis asked the same question: "Would you be the leader of my army against the North?" I said, "I'm more devoted to my state, Virginia." So I accept. So he denied the North, but he went to the South. That's Robert E. Lee. Very good man. And now we got Robert E. Lee in the South as commander of the army, and we got Ulysses Grant, commander of the North. They knew each other very well. Probably when they studied together. Any questions so far? Sure. Now, if the South won most of the battles, tell you better, won more battles than the North and South, why they lost the war? It was easy. Lincoln had something, industries, so he could build, and he had more people. So it was easy for him. If you lose 20,000 in one battle, it was easy for him to recover, get more people. Actually, a lot of immigrants were coming to New York from Ireland, and it was easy here for him to make more weapons, more cannons, because he was into the industry. And he had boats, big boats, and they covered the boats with steel. And he had a blockade. He placed boats in front of the South. It was what they call a blockade. It's the same thing that the United States did with Cuba and with Japan before World War II. Say, put a bunch of boats that nobody passes. And it was not easy for the South to get more weapons, food, supplies, let's call it supplies, from Europe because of the blockade. Well, Lincoln had an advantage. These people, besides they won, they lost a lot of people, and they didn't have enough people to recuperate, and they didn't have enough weapons to recuperate. So if they won, they went up to the Mason City line over here, they have to go back, get more people, and they lost all the territory that they won in the war or in the battle. We got that? It was not easy to recuperate despite the fact that you won the battle, because you didn't have that many people, and you didn't have that many weapons, and you need clothing, you need food, so you can fight. And everybody thought it was going to be a short war. It wasn't. How long did it last? So you have to know when it began, when it began, and when it finished. Right? I'll tell you when it finished. You have to know the dates. Okay? Now, I don't want to go into that many wars, that many battles. Let's talk about Sherman. There were some other actors in this war. One of the main actors, I already named two. Three actually. If you ever record, Abraham Lincoln, Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and Ulysses Grant. So far. Okay? Now, you need the person next to you with a lot of balls, a lot of testosterone to command your army. Because if you're the generals, the commander, you cannot go into battle. You watch the battle. And you organize the battle. So, Robert E. Lee had a guy by the name, I'm going to call him, he's well known more by his last name, his nickname. His nickname was Stone Wall Jackson. Why they call him Stonewall?
When people south area and run away from the airman's house and they go.
Well, yeah, what happened mainly, they were losing the battle. And most of the troops from the south were retreating. And he stood like a stone, like a wall. When everybody was passing him, he was just there. Bullets was going around him. And he stood and said, hey, look at the general. And he said, come on, let's go. Let's attack. No retreat, no surrender. So they followed him because he stood like that. So when you have the commander, ready to fight, get like encouraged. So they follow him and they won that battle. Since that day, they gave him the name Stonewall Jackson. I'm going to tell you a sad story about Stonewall Jackson. Stonewall Jackson was coming, he defeated the Union Army again. He went over there and he started checking that everything was okay. And one of the officers said, sir, you're too close to the enemy. Let's go back, it's getting dark. I said, okay, let's go back. When they got to the camp, it was already dark. And one of the guards, a little kid, you put little kids to play, to do the dirty job. You take care of the surrounding areas. So one of the kids saw a figure, it was night. It was Stone Jackson and his officer coming to the camp. The kid didn't ask, who's coming? But they had to ask that. He didn't ask. He just shot at whoever he was. And he hit Stonewall Jackson on his left arm. Now, let's go back to the 1800s. There was no anesthesia. Most of the doctors were not doctors, they were butchers. Heard that word? No, find out. They were butchers, carniceros, mainly. If you got hurt, they didn't operate. They had no tool to cut your hand. That was the main thing to do. If you got wounded, they will chop your hand, your leg, any extremity you can find. Most of the time, and believe me, there was no anesthesia in those days. So can you imagine the pain that you have to go through? They have to wrap your hand, your leg, your body, and they put a rope around your leg and start sawing your leg to define the bone. And then they had a bucket. They throw all the extremities in the bucket. There are pictures with legs, bucket with legs and arms, all kinds of stuff, hands. Horrible. No anesthesia. The only anesthesia they had, and it was only for the officers, it was ether. You put a mask on top of your nose and mouth, and they drop ether. That makes you sleepy. Okay? And that's when Stonewall Jackson got a stroke in his left arm. That's what they did to him. They cut his left arm. Now they call Robert E. Lee and said, Mr. Lee, we got bad news. General Stonewall Jackson got shot and he lost his left arm. And Robert E. Lee said, well, he lost his left arm, I lost my right hand. Meaning that he was his right hand. Stonewall Jackson died of his wound. I think later, a month later. He died at his house, surrounded by his wife and children. He was a very Christian man. A very Christian guy. Now Stonewall Jackson died, and everything was not same. No one tried to supply his loss, and he couldn't. Now on the other side, we haven't talked about Ulysses Grant. We're talking about only Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. Now on the other side, General Ulysses Grant. With a D. Anyway, Ulysses Grant. He was the commander-in-chief of the Union Army. And he had a guy that stonewalled him by the his last name is Sherman. Sherman was in charge of the cavalry. Cavalry means horses. Now they use horses. What do they use now? Wars instead of horses. There we go. Tanks. Lord, what is the name of those tanks? Come on! Sherman!
Really?
Most all tanks that are made in the United States, the ones that you see on TV that go to war, they're called Shermans, in honor of Sherman. Sherman was in charge of the cavalry and the cannons. Now they have developed cannons the size probably half of this room, and they have cannonballs, special machines, just to put the cannonball inside, and blow the thing up, and believe me, it made huge holes. If they attack city like Atlanta, Sherman destroyed Atlanta. He bombarded them like days, destroying Atlanta completely. And he was a mean bastard. Let me tell you. He didn't take no prisoners. He killed everybody. Women killed him, he didn't care. So Mr. Sherman is the one that really advanced and destroyed most of the city in the South. Now, the South couldn't handle it anymore. They had a lot of prisoners in the North. They had no food. The cotton industry completely destroyed. They have they lost the main train stations and train roads or railroads, and they were asphyxiated. So Robert E. Lee, before that, there were a couple of real nasty wars of battles. First, and the most famous of all, is Antietam. Antietam. Why is it not famous? Because that day, if I'm not mistaken, more than 60, it was a 2-day battle. More than 60,000 Americans died that day. Horrible battle. The other battle was Bull Run 2. It's another battle called, it was in Chancellorsville. These are the names of the places that they call Chancellorsville. Even Chancellor Villa, a la Villa de Chancellor. Chancellorsville. There's another battle, the Battle of Fredericksburg. Hey, don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand. Robert Lee was about this close to win the war. This close. He got to Washington, to the capital, outside the city limits. Once you took the capital, hey, you're secure. I mean, you almost won the war. And he could never get to the capital. Lincoln and his followers and his army stood and defended Washington. That's where Robert E. Lee practically lost his war. Now Lee decided to surrender. He knows that his army can't handle it anymore. He had no supplies, he had no weapons, he had no people, no soldiers to fight. So he called Ulysses Grant, or sent a note to Ulysses Grant, telling him that he's ready to surrender. So they made an arrangement, and they made an appointment to meet at a courthouse. You know what a courthouse? I hope you never go there. And it was a courthouse. Jesus, I'm going to have a lot of fun next week. Because next week we're going to have a test about American Civil War. Courthouse. Court. House. What's the name of the people's court? You guys. When you commit a crime, where did they take you? To court. So this is a courthouse. In a town called that is very close. There's a courthouse which exists, still exists, by the way. You can look at the internet and travel to the museum. And this courthouse is where General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses Grant. He came well dressed with his sword, his side weapon, and his officers, his main officers, the one that were close to him. And he got the sword and gave it to Robert Lee. To Ulysses Grant. Ulysses Grant took the sword, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he gave it back to him. He said, well, the only thing you guys got to do, your officers can keep your sidearms. You know what a sidearm is? Your sidearm. Not the sidearm, not your right hand. Sidearm. That means that they carry a weapon beside. You can keep your sidearm and your horse. The rest of the soldiers, your soldiers, has to play a fire. Give away, give us all the weapons they have, all the mules, all the horses, all the cannons, and they can go. This is the end. So, accepted, they left. Home. Well, not maybe it's home run, it's the store. So Lincoln, before the war ended, had written what is called the Emancipation Law. I can read it to you today if you want to stay with me a little later. It says that America is no longer an enslaved country. There's no enslaved in the United States. That's, remember that I showed you the Constitution of the United States the other day? Well, that's what they have. They added it to the Constitution. There only have been like 3 or 4 changes in the United States Constitution. That's probably what the first one. There's no slavery in the country of the United States. So now the war is over. Now all these millions of slaves are free. They don't know what to do. Now you have a fucking big problem. But most guys, they only know that, well, we're going to the farm where we were born, and my mom, taught me how to cook and how to make sausages and, I don't know, beans and rice, because that's what they ate those days. They destroyed. The houses were destroyed. The plantation was no plantation anymore. There was no chickens. There was no cattle. Everything had been eaten. So war, believe me, is horrible. You don't want to go to the work. It's a lot of suffering, a lot of crying. But anyway, now, along with the peace, another problem was created. Slaves free slaves. Why was the problem? First, they knew what to do. They didn't know how to read. The only thing they knew was either picking up cotton, sugar cane, or, working in a house, washing dishes, raising chickens. I don't know. Washing dishes, washing chickens. So let's talk about that. And I think I mentioned this last class or the other day. Then you got slaves started to drink. They didn't know what whiskey was, but they knew. A few of them, they got real drunk, and you're drunk and hungry, you're free, and somehow you have a little power. Why? Because they got what they call a Negro house. I'll give you a good example. There's a lady walking down the street with an umbrella. And a Negro, did I do good? You like it? My movie? I don't know. Anyway, so a Negro go by and this lady this. The Negro goes to the Negro house and that lady did that to me. Come to you, they arrest you and put you in jail. Just because you didn't look good at it. Or because you say something at it. They put you in jail for that. But now they have all these free slaves, drunk, they didn't know what to do, were stealing everything, and they were raping women. They were stealing everything, what was left. So a group of men got together and said, hey, we lost the war, we understand that, but now we got all these Negroes, raping our girls, stealing what we have left, and we live in fear because we think they're going to kill us. And some of them did kill some white guys. So they organized themselves and they created what it was called in those days the KKK. Ku Klux Klan. So if you think about it, the Ku Klux Klan was a kind of paramilitary group to protect what they have. Exactly. Just to protect themselves. And they said, well, there's a Negro over there that raped my girl. They went, hugged the motherfucker, killed him. That's all they did. That's all they did. Now, later on, it became more like a Nazi, stupid head king, how do you call it, skinhead, Nazi guy. White whatever that means. White supremacy. There's no such thing as white supremacy. Anyway, so if you think about it, the KKK was created just to protect themselves. Because nobody protected the people in the South, not even the own army. By the way, they didn't have any money, that Confederate money they had, It was worthless. Nobody wanted it. But it's a piece of paper. And what you're asking them, you good. Now, KK. Then he said, "Good movie." I told you about this movie. I said, "Look at this movie. It's called The Birth of a Nation." A birth of a nation. And half of that movie is now the history of the Ku Klux Klan.
Where's the name of that movie? Where's the name of that movie?
Birth. A birth of a nation. It's a silent movie, black and white. Okay? But it showed like when the pilgrims arrived until the KKK was formed. If you watch the movie, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot. Now, okay, this L doesn't have any sound. Okay? It's like the word, how do you pronounce this? How do you pronounce this? Last name, Abraham Lincoln. How do you pronounce this? You don't pronounce this L. Salmon. Don't believe any teacher. The teacher pronounces Solomon, he is completely wrong. The right pronunciation is salmon. It's like cemetery. It's not cemetery. Cemetery. Salmon. People keep saying that. I don't know why. So Abraham Lincoln decides to go to New York. That's the name he spent most of the time. And he went to see a play. The name of the play, the name of the theater was, how did you find this? You think I was joking? The Lincoln assassination. Let's talk about how Lincoln was assassinated. How about who? Where? When? What was the name of the play? What was the name of the theater? And who killed him? Now Lincoln's going to see a play. Remember, there's no direct TV. There's no movies. The only thing they got, and big and good ones, are photographs. I think they got more than 10,000 photographs. This one guy, I don't remember. Lincoln goes to see a play with his father and his running bodyguard. Like I said, in those days, maybe early in those days, you could go to the White House. It was open to the public, get inside the White House. There probably was a secretary. I said, I want to talk to the person. I said, well, let me see. Wait, Mr. President, is somebody here to see you? Who is it? Oh, let me. I'll ask him what's the matter before. I'm sorry about something. So it was like this was nothing. So Lincoln, he walking down the street with his wife, really holding hands. Lincoln was about this tall. I'm taller. But Lincoln was twice as tall as me. He was 2'10". Something like that. Real tall. And he used a big hat by the way too, so he was taller. So anyway, Lincoln was walking down the street, went to Ford Theater, like the car Ford. Went to the Ford Theater to watch a play. The name of the play was My American Cousin. Our American Cousin. American cousin. She could play, by the way. They still play. So Lincoln sat in the presidential booth. You're going to call it booth, yeah. But it's really close to the stage. Close to the stage. So once the play started, I think Lincoln bodyguard left. John Wilkes Booth knew that Lincoln was going to be there because he was an actor. And he went in the morning, they told him in the morning, the president was going to be there. So he sneaked in because he was an actor, he was a well-known actor. So he got a gun and he shot Lincoln in the head, back of the head. He jumped from the booth, the presidential booth, to the stage while the play was going on, and he yelled, "Six Semper Tyrannis," and left running like a bat out of hell. You don't know that expression? Like a bat out of hell. Anyway, so he ran, and I think he was limping, probably.
He broke his leg. I know he broke his leg.
He hurt his leg? Yeah, sure. It was pretty high. He jumped pretty high. He yelled, "Six Semper Tyrannis." What does that mean? Those are the same word that Brutus, he said to the Caesar when he stabbed him. "Six Semper Tyrannis." The dagger in his body several times. All of them did. All the senators did. And the last one who a knife on Caesar's body was Brutus. And he said to Brutus before Caesar died, "You too, Brutus?" Because actually he was the one who raised him. But you know how politics are. They don't care, they kill each other. So Booth shot Lincoln. Lincoln stays alive. They moved to a house in front of the theater. The next day, early in the morning, Lincoln dies. So now we got the President of the United States is dead. The guy who liberated the Negroes is dead. They hung, because that's the word they use, John Wilkes Booth. They found him in a barn. You know what that is? And they shot him. They killed him. But they captured some of the other guys that were plotting the assassination. 3 or 4. Now remember, what the heck is, what's his name? Jefferson Davis. I would talk about him. He got the hell out. Some say they came to Colombia. Some say they came to Venezuela. Nobody knows. Kind of disappeared. But you have to find a little bit about Jefferson's day. What happened? Okay? So now Lincoln is dead. Vice President takes over. And we will think that now that there is no slavery, everything is going to be coming. You know, rights and blacks and white living together. Nor in the South. The South became real radical with the Negroes. Radicals. And they got that, they have those stupid laws that the states can make. States, not the federal government. Like not accepting Negroes in white bathrooms. Negroes have to ride in the back of the truck, of the buses. You cannot enter the restaurant through that door. You have to go to the Negro door. So that separation, that's racism, was born in the South. North got a lot to do with it. But still the South, like Mississippi, which they have a lot of black people, but the white people there are worse. I mean, this is Trump people. You know what I'm saying? When I say Trump people, white supremacists that really hate, anybody that is different. Hate Mexicans, hate Latins, hate Chinese. The only one they love is the white guys. And the ones that live like hillbillies. You know what hillbillies? Montañeros. Have you seen those movies, those guys with big beard? Those are the guys. The really Trump people. The nasty guys. They talk so bad about Obama. I've listened to a bunch of them. But they shut my mouth. Don't say anything. Don't say it. We don't have that problem in Colombia, but that's a problem. That's all I say. We got away from politics. All the living. That's right. That's right. Right. Bueno, próxima clase vamos a hacer un examen de esto y de esto nada más. Porque la última vez fue muy flojón. Vamos a ver si saben una sola cosa y la deben de saber bien. ¿Qué hay que saber sobre la guerra civil? Primero, las causas de la guerra civil. ¿Cuáles son las primeras causas? Fue la esclavitud. Fue política. Fue la combinación de los dos. ¿Qué le dice la cabaña de Tío Rojo? ¿Quién lo escribió? ¿Cómo era el norte y cómo era el sur? Estaban industrializados y el otro era rural. Que sembraban en el norte, que había en el norte, qué clase de fábricas. ¿Cómo sobrevivía el sur? ¿De qué sobrevivía? ¿Saben que sobre el cotton gin? Que eso cambió la historia también. La desmontadora. William. Bueno, pues me hablan sobre ¿cuándo fue que se suspendió el trade entre África y los Estados Unidos? Esto lo van a poner también en el timeline. Me van a hacer un timeline de la guerra civil. No me ha pasado. Es decir, los perratas como los trajeron aquí.
sobre el ataque de Fort Sumter. Me van a hablar sobre la primera batalla, Bull Run, donde fue, cuántos murieron, aproximadamente, claro. Nombre y cédula de cada uno de ellos. Las principales batallas. Las principales batallas, ya ustedes saben cuáles son: Antietam, Bull Run 1, Bull Run 2, Chancellorsville, Gettysburg. Esa no sé la pongo. Gettysburg, no sé si con G o con I. Antietam o Antietam. ¿Cuáles fueron las batallas más sangrientas? ¿Sabían ustedes que más americanos murieron en la guerra civil que en la primera y la segunda guerra mundial juntas? Se las voy a poner mejor. La mayoría que murieron en la guerra civil fue por enfermedades o por heridas, no por haber muerto en batalla. Más que todo fue por enfermedades, más que en la propia guerra dándose plomo. Esto tiene que ver mucho, por ejemplo, si las batallas eran en Bull Run, también era un río, un arroyo. Entonces, y también peleaban en el Mississippi, y peleaban en los ríos, buscando el control de la salida y las cosas. Entonces había muchos muertos en los ríos. Eso infectaba el agua. La gente tomaba el agua y automáticamente se infectaba, tomaba infectada y se morían, ya sea de disentería, malaria, difteria, todo lo que se produce. Son microorganismos de la producción. Habla de todos los actores que mencioné, tienen que mencionarme todos los actores. Mencionarme de Robert E. Lee, Ulysses Grant, Sherman, Stonewall Jackson. ¿Quiénes eran? ¿Cuál es la batalla decisiva? En donde Lincoln, donde el general Robert E. Lee prácticamente pierde, y es Gettysburg. Esa es la batalla, digamos, final. Luego otras por ahí. Háblame sobre la rendición de Robert Lee. ¿Cómo fue eso? Me la van a describir. A ver, escríbemela. Transpórteme el tiempo. Por imagínense, Robert Lee vestido con su sable. Se lo entregó al general, el general se lo volvió. Miren a ver cómo es el cuentecito ese de la entrega y lo formal que era. Y de repente que se conocía. Era amigo. ¿Qué pasa después de que termina la guerra? ¿Qué le pasa a los esclavos después de que termina la guerra? Por último, el asesinato del presidente Lincoln con lujo de detalles. Claro, tienes que tocar tu clan. ¿Qué pasó después de que los... Exacto.
Lo que pasa con los negros.
Después que son declarados libres.
Allá
al final la muerte de Dios. Esta vez quiero fluencia en el hablar. ¿Vale? Fluencia en el hablar. Esta vez van a hablar más de lo necesario. Van a hablar bastante. Voy a hacer las preguntas, se habla sobre la guerra civil, donde voy a también preguntar ciertas cositas dependiendo de lo que me hagan. Les recomiendo que tengan un folder con todas sus notas, sus apuntes ahí. Pero si van a leer. Y además de eso me deben traer el timeline. Lo voy a calificar el timeline y ya hago el examen dentro de 8 días. ¿Ok? ¿Alguna pregunta al respecto? Yo tenía dos. Gente, este es el lado para el nombre.